Amazing. That's exactly how we experience every other last Monday of the month here on TV3. Welcome, good evening to you. This is Time with the Captains. My name is Alfred Okanse. This is our monthly mentorship program, and the Africa Development Bank report indicates that Africa needs to create 20 million jobs every year to tackle unemployment on the continent. Clearly means that the growing youthful population of the African continent could either be an opportunity or a threat. This evening, we're going to mentor young people who are watching us all across the world, and those who are gathered here as a live audience here on Time with the Captains. We'll back shortly, and I will unveil our captain for the month of July. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Do stay. Okay, wonderful. This is the live audience here at TV3, live on your TV. But let me just remind you, we're live all across the world on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, on DSTV channel 279 as well. It's a global audience we have here on Time with the Captains. And if you just joined us, welcome. My name is Alfred Okanse, and let's get interactive as we go on our various social media platforms. On Facebook, it's TV3 Ghana. You can also check us out on Twitter. It's at TV3 Ghana. You can Twitter me directly at Alfred_3FM and read out to you. Let's now unveil our captain for the month of July. Our captain for the month of July, Louis Amenyo Adante, is a technology entrepreneur. He is the founder, chief executive officer, chief software architect, and an executive director of TechSol. Louis Amenyo started TechSol in the year 2009 while studying for his bachelor's degree in information technology. TechSol is one of the rapidly growing technology companies in Africa and also gaining grounds in the country. He has over 12 years experience in the technology industry and software engineering, system analysis and design and consulting. Louis has consulted for a renowned international organization and many more, such as World Bank's Group in Washington, USA, and has vast experience in management. Louis has also led several successful projects and has implemented systems for over 40 companies, including banks, investment firms, pension funds, etc. Louis has also been the driving force behind the successful implementation of TechSol Dream, and he continues to create and maintain business focus for the organization. He is a unique personality who has driven TechSol to its present state. He is very analytical, focused, result-oriented, and is able to ensure successful implementation of all corporate initiatives. He holds an MBA in finance from Gimpa Business School, a Bachelor of Science degree in Information and Communications Technology from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, Gimpa School of Technology. At the age of 22, while studying for his bachelor's degree, consulted for renowned international organizations, as mentioned, World Bank, ran TechSol successfully, and he's the man that we have here as our captain for the month of July. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome Louis Amenyo Adante. Thank you.
Thank you
for making the time to be here.
You're welcome.
It's always good to see you. Behind the scenes, not many people know what we've been up to here. Sure. You can keep that a secret, but welcome.
Thank you.
Beyond what we've read here about you, Louis, there are some people who probably might know you beyond your profile. Just for the benefit of those who are here and who are watching you, who is Louis beyond you being a tech entrepreneur and the CEO of TechSol?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say it's an honor to be invited here today to share my experiences with young upcoming entrepreneurs and our future leaders. TechSol started about 10 years ago. The journey has not been easy, and I will give you a little background. I had the opportunity from a very humble beginning to went to one of the best secondary schools in the country, Bishop Herman College.
I see.
Yes, and a book. Yes.
You know, from a humble beginning to a best school. That's nice.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you about that.
Just tell me about it. How did it all work out for you?
Well, from where we started, I had a friend. I have 4 friends. 4 of us, or God willing, made it to Bishop Herman at that time. Very competitive. Emmanuel, Nelson, and Richard, myself. We studied together. We supported each other with very good, dedicated teachers at the time. After Bishop Herman, we waited for about 2 years to enter the university. So during that time, my mom enrolled me in a 9-year program in computer engineering at HAC, Holland African Mass Computer Institute.
I see.
So after I finished the course, results were in, and we were supposed to proceed to the university. But due to some family constraints, I couldn't go with my colleagues. And that was where I got crushed. It was very devastating to see your colleagues all go to school at that time and you being at home. Very, very serious times without knowing what your future holds. Because my aspirations at that time was to go study medicine. And even though I qualified, I couldn't enter.
So because of your financial situation then as a family, you couldn't go or proceed to the university?
Precisely.
Even though you had good grades?
Precisely.
So at that moment, let me just backtrack a bit. Your mom enrolled you in an IT school.
Yes.
What informed that decision to do that when she knew you wanted to do medicine?
Good. Technology started coming to our part of the world at that time. I remember in secondary school, we were introduced to the DOS systems and those 486 machines at the time. But my passion wasn't too much about that, even though you needed it to be able to become successful in all your future careers. So it was something that definitely you have to get used to. So it was that background that made her enroll me to at least become computer literate before going to the university, which was very good at the time, yes.
So that's where you build the interest in IT?
Computing.
Computing, for that matter. So then how did you get over the hurdle of your family challenges and not being able to go to school when your colleagues were going ahead?
Good. So interesting enough, after the inability to proceed, the future looked very bleak for me, as a matter of fact. I was so devastated. Then a cousin of mine who knew a pharmacy owner, a pharmacy shop, got me a job at the shop. In fact, the woman is late now, Mrs. Gladys Defoe of blessed memory. She was very supportive. She took me in as a son and actually encouraged me that that wasn't the end of the world. So it was a part-time job. So at the time, she allowed me to be able to do other things in the field of computing. So she even introduced me to friends of hers that needed some form of computer, how we call it, jobs. Those who had jobs, she helped me secure some of them.
I mean, those days you can install an operating system.
Precisely.
And get paid.
Get some money.
You install Windows and get paid. I can relate to that.
Thank you very much.
A little more. You sell those discs now, you know.
Precisely.
And
that was the order of the day. Yes.
I see.
Yes. So I was making some few monies around while still doing the part-time job in the pharmacy. There I met a very good friend who became a brother, Martin Abankwa. Very supportive. In fact, he's now like a senior brother to me.
Right.
So he came on board and a client actually gave me a contract to develop an inventory management software for their business. At the time, I didn't know anything about software engineering. So Martin had an experience in engineering. So I spoke to him about the project, and he asked me, are you willing to do such a job? I said, yes, of course. So he said, okay, if that's the case, then he was going to assist me to get the project to the company. This was the time that I had no computer of my own, so you could imagine somebody without a laptop or a computer going to develop a whole program for a business. But Martin being a very good person, shared his laptop with me and actually introduced me to software engineering. Fantastic. I will forever be grateful to Martin.
So the lesson here is that you get the right associations. Okay?
Exactly.
Get connected to the right people, create the right network that can help you support your dream. I think that's a lesson we can take from here.
Precisely.
Great.
Yes. So when in life, you must know the kind of people you associate yourself with. If you know who you are and what you want to achieve, you don't go associating yourself with those that don't have or do not share in your ambitions, because it won't end you anywhere. So we did the project, and thanks be to God. To God be the glory. It was very successful. So my love and interest in software programming started from there. So I took it up upon myself to study. And at the same time, I was around 20 years. I launched my first venture, a very small company. Madam Gladys allowed me to actually set up that business, and she supported.
What's the name of the company at the time? You know, sometimes when you're starting your company, you have a long name.
Very interesting. It was Soft Pro Consults, software professionals.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I see.
So that was what I started with. So I ran that for a while, and
through Martin, at age 20.
Yes, at age 20. So through Martin's efforts again, there was an opening at the World Bank for a consultancy job. So you could imagine a young man just with a computer background, nothing big in computing, no degree, nothing, applying for such a job. So most of his friends put in applications. It was actually open for the African region.
I see.
It was a project for health financing in emerging economies. So there was an IT aspect of it, and you need a team of IT professionals to handle that side. So Martin encouraged me to put in my bid as well. So he helped me put my CV together, a very short, brief, precise resume. And then we forwarded it for our prototype. That was 4 hours to the deadline.
I see.
Yes. So it was just something that you just try and say, one of those things, if it happens.
Yeah, so what caused the delay? Is it that you thought you weren't going to be picked because you didn't have an real experience for a World Bank job? You know, sometimes when you see certain applications or how do you call it, the vacancies in newspapers, you don't get the edge to do it because you don't match up. Was that the reason?
That was precisely the reason. And that was another lesson that I want to share with you. In life, don't write yourself off, because you never know what will take you there. Yes. So, as I said, Martin, being a very good brother again, encouraged me.
Great stuff.
Of course, he helped me put the entire CV and project together. And we submitted. That was 4 hours to the deadline, my brother. So, the bid went in, and we were doing our own. It was even a Friday evening, we were just having our own chat, trying to put some few things together. And then within 4 hours, 3 hours, few minutes to the deadline, a response came in my email. So I told Martin that, look, I had an email from the World Bank. Maybe just to tell me that I wasn't successful.
They've received your application. Wow.
So,
and this was at age 22?
No, this is at age 23.
23?
Yes. That was after I ran the initial venture for a while, still working at the pharmacy part-time. Because I needed to also build up money to go back to school, because now I have to face life on my own. So it happened that we opened the mail, and congratulations.
You have the job.
Louis, you've been selected out of the African region.
Fantastic. Round of applause. I mean, look, this short beginning story has a lot in there for us, lots of lessons and principles. I'm going to take the first batch of questions from you, and then we'll come back to our guest again. So you put your hand up, the microphone will come to you. You ask the question, he would answer, and then we'll keep going back and forth. So, first question, I see a hand. Okay, right. There's a gentleman. Okay, please. Your name and then.
Nana Safu Kofi. Talking from Wesleyan Entrepreneurship Group, and I want to ask this question.
Okay.
When you were developing your own softwares, I trust there will be some encountering of backbiting and challenges.
Okay.
And please, how did you come across, and how were you able to encounter these challenges?
Thank you. So the challenges when you were beginning. Okay.
You can't do away with challenges in life. especially as an entrepreneur. It is something that you have to be prepared for. Especially starting a venture in technology, for that matter, with all the huge multinational companies present in our country, also
Right.
trying to sell similar things, solutions to same businesses. So it wasn't that easy. Remember I told you that I didn't even have a computer to start with. I was sharing my colleague's laptop at the time. So it was really challenging. But challenges bring about innovation. In business, as an entrepreneur, until you are faced with challenges, your innovative prowess will not come to bear.
Don't listen to the gossips too. I mean, the backbiting there, it will come.
Backbiting and things will come. People will say
right.
things to discourage you, but we have to be focused.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
What's next? Yes, please.
Yeah. For me personally, I know him to this particular software, FunPlus. Yes, that was, he said it was one of its kind and whatever. I wanted to know what actually brought the idea, how was it conceptualized, and the whole thing, how you managed to bring it on board, and what other software applications that have you developed over the years, because that was way back in 2014, and 4 years down the lane, what have you, and how many companies so far have you been managing their software?
What's your name and where you?
And my name is Ebenezer Fire from GIJ.
Thank you. You've done your research, I guess.
That's
Thank you,
correct. I must commend you for such a research. Yes. Yeah, Texor was among the few companies, if not the first, to launch such a comprehensive fund management and investment banking software for the Ghanaian market and for the African region. At the time that we entered the market, there were some few competitors from outside with very expensive solutions. And at the time, the Securities and Exchange Commission opened up the market for investment banking and fund management. So there was a proliferation of a lot of such companies in the system. And myself, together with my formidable team, we have a very enterprising, very young, dynamic team at Texor. We decided that this is an industry, since we're already in the finance sector, that we could take advantage of.
Right.
So how do we get our part of the cake? So I remember one of my colleagues suggested that we do something for the sector. And we're all young, IT people without any investment banking background. And in software engineering or software development, let me first of all say that technology is just an enabler. Okay? We only automate things that you do manually, we tend to automate them. So before you can develop quality and good software for an industry, you have to understand the workings of the industry. So we are not fund managers, we're not investment bankers. How are we able to understand the requirements for the sector? So that is also one thing I'm going to talk to you about. In business, you set yourself up to solve problems. And as and when they come along, areas that you are not too good at, you consult. You go to people who have done it, people who understand what it takes to make things work in those fields. You try to get their assistance to actually get your product and services developed.
So that's where mentoring comes in. But how about when you don't have the mentors who are open and want to really share with you? Because I speak to a lot of young people and they go like, some people are very chisel with information. They don't want to share. Yes. So then how do you go about it?
Well, let me put it this way. The kind of information you need, like the one we needed to actually build FunPlus, the investment banking software, of course, which has become very successful, I must say that, in the industry. We needed to pay for the consultancy from the industry experts.
Okay.
So we put a team together, use our own meager resources to actually get that done. Now, the question that you ask, people are not willing to divulge information or mentor young entrepreneurs. I must say that now, the environment we find ourselves in now is more conducive than before. Now, the internet is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. There is everything that you can get on the internet.
Right.
It's just like you're sitting in front of an expert. There are video tutorials, there are materials from experts who they've put out there. Even us at now, we all still do research and find information on the net. So instead of spending so much time on social media, looking at friends' pictures, Twitter and all that, the gossips in town, spend your time to reach. You must research, and the internet comes in handy. Unlike before, when it was, you have to go to the books or get people to speak to.
Great stuff. So the ICT economy, I hear people say that it's probably one of the easiest economies where you can make money because of the fast evolution that's happening in that particular economy. Would you agree with that, that it's pretty easy as compared to other economies if you really want to make money in the ICT space?
It's not as easy as it sounds or as people make it. I mean, there's nothing easy in this life. One good thing about technology is that when you break through the scale, you're able to scale out immediately. Unlike if it's manufacturing, you have to put your production lines together and do all those things. Especially for internet businesses, like the Facebooks of the world, like the Googles of the world, they can travel very fast. That is one good thing about it. Yes, I also agree that it's not too capital intensive to start with, because all you need is your brain and some laptop, okay, to start something.
That's how easy it is.
That is how
your brain and a laptop.
Your brain and laptop. And yes, and even though it is that easy, you must have the discipline to sit down and work, because the life of a programmer is not that easy. You have to be prepared to do away with social functions. You deny yourself that
pleasures of
life. Yes, because day and night you have to be talking to your computer. Wow. Okay, yes, that is how difficult it is, and it's not that easy to chain out a software solution. It takes years, sometimes months, especially if you are developing for a specific industry. It could be very, very demanding, and so you need serious team. Sometimes, even though I started alone, build banking softwares alone and all that, you need a team. And that is also one thing you must understand in business, that teamwork, okay, is very important in succeeding in your venture, because you can never do it alone. So it got to a point, once I began to make some few monies, I had to quickly put a team together. And I am blessed at Techsol to have one of the very good teams.
Amazing. And we have some of them here with us, so round of applause for them. They can wave at us. Thank you very much for making the time to this. So let me come back to you now. What's that microphone? Okay. Where's the microphone? Yes, please. Your name and...
all right. I am Edward Aqua, and I'm an immediate past student of GIJ.
Okay.
All right. So I'm very much concerned about being able to identify business opportunities, because I believe that's the starting point. I mean, I've been following you on Facebook, and I believe you are quite active on Facebook and other social media platforms.
He does the right things on Facebook.
Yeah. So as an IT expert and a businessman for that matter, when you put on your business lens and you are surfing on social media, what are some of the business opportunities that you see that you think we are taking for granted?
Okay, please.
It's a very good one. Yes. Let me put it this way. Society is faced with a lot of challenges. And all that it takes is for you to identify a challenge and provide solution to that challenge. That is what usually is said. Entrepreneurs are solution providers or problem solvers. Now, it's not enough to just develop a solution or a product. Right? After you develop the solution, you must convince a cross-section of the society or community that the solution is good and that it will solve their challenges or problems that they are facing. It is when they buy into your solution and they use it that you become successful. And usually, people set out to make money when they start ventures.
Right.
You don't have to set out to make money. You will never make that money. If you're focused on money, you will make it. You set out to solve problems. Now, money is just one of the rewards that come out as a byproduct of launching a successful venture and solving people's problems. It is when they use the solution, you derive satisfaction. When you see people using your product,
Right.
you are very happy that you are impacting lives. And the more they use it, the more you become successful, of which money is one of them. Now on social media, there are challenges. In fact, people put things on social media. So the best place to look out for is your immediate environment. Okay? Whatever you are seeing on social media or any media is being provided by people who live within the community.
Absolutely.
And the challenges are with us in the communities. So that's why you look out for the challenges. Then you master it. Your solution might not be a new solution altogether. Of course, there's nothing new in this world. We are only innovating and improving upon what we have. That is why you can't also dissociate innovation from entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurs are innovators. And I will give you an example.
Right.
Few years before now, in the telephony industry, we used to have landlines.
True.
They were pioneers, large multinational companies, making it big. Then somebody sat down and said, okay, what if I can get people to communicate without having to extend wire to their location? That was how mobile telephony came about. And today, it has disrupted the wire business. That is an innovation, and that's an entrepreneur.
And the bit on disruptive technology is something I'll come to maybe afterwards, because then we can get into the conversation of whether technology becomes a complement or a threat in this whole space that we find ourselves. In fact, people put their problems on Facebook, so look out for it. Someone says, I can't sleep.
Exactly.
Recommend medicine for the person to... You're becoming entrepreneurial. I mean, so...
Of course.
But we'll be back shortly after this quick break here on Time with the Captains. Please put your hands together for our guests. Thank you. Charlie. All right, guys, we're going. Wonderful. That is the kind of atmosphere that characterizes every other Time with the Captains here on TV3. Welcome back. We still have our captain with us here in studio. Lots of you watching us. We're getting feedback from Liberia, from Uganda, from places like South Africa, and also from Russia. Thank you guys for joining us on our various social media platforms. Go back to the audience now. I have 3 questions from 3 ladies. Please mention your name and where you're coming from or where you represent, please.
Hello, my name is Solace. I'm an entrepreneur from iStart. Sir, please, when you were talking about encouragement, I want to know if the government have played any role in that, and have the government also opened up opportunities for the youth to take opportunities in ICT?
Thank you very much. I think that's a great question.
Yes, that is a very important one, of course. Government supports come in diverse ways. You do not expect government to actually dish out money necessarily to entrepreneurs. So the bit of government, what they are expected to do is to create an enabling environment for the young entrepreneurs to strive. And I think the successive governments have been putting in measures to actually do that. Yes, it's not enough, like we would like to have, like it is in other places like the US and Europe. But I think it's a matter of time that we'll get there. But they are doing their bit. And I know of the Ghana Venture Capital Trust Fund. They have done their bit in trying to fund some few businesses, startups here and there. And I think the current government is also putting in a lot of measures in that regard. The previous administration also did that, the Youth Employment and the Innovation Fund.
Youth in ICT.
Youth in ICT.
But maybe the question is the level of consciousness and intentional, plan to develop young people in ICT, because you can talk about Silicon Valley, and everybody else can relate to it. They're producing the likes of Facebooks and every other person we're talking about. Has there been a deliberate plan to create that youthful buzz for ICT in Ghana?
I wouldn't say so, at least from my perspective, and I'll explain. What you talk about, deliberate attempt to create successful businesses out of the tech space. For now, all that we are all doing is private. Most of us are trying to build our own businesses. Of course, because of the environment they are creating is enabling to some extent, but you want to see what pertains in other jurisdictions where governments through agencies support their own, even government projects. That's an area that when we meet, we all discuss. It's not only in the field of ICT, even in other areas, the road construction and all that. Until your government, because they are the biggest employers.
Absolutely.
Okay. Until they are able to see the good in their own children and invest in them, nobody is going to do that. And that is where I don't think we are doing that well, because if you look at most of the national projects, the ICT ones, that is where I belong. So I don't want to mention names, but we all hear of them in the media.
True.
Government dishing out a lot of millions to procure services that we could actually provide here locally. The US government or the European government, various European countries won't do that. They develop their own. Today we have Microsoft, we have the likes of IBM, we have the likes of Facebook, because they needed support at the right time to be able to get to where they are. So if at this time our government is still not looking at that, and whenever there's a big project, they have to even make it a point to give us a concession. Okay, they shouldn't give all of them to the foreign companies, especially when there is expertise locally to do such a thing.
Okay, so let's go to, yes.
Okay. My name is Paulina Dida Opoku from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. I want to find out, as an entrepreneur, how do you market your brand, that's Telsol, to your clients? And what are the strategies that you use that put you ahead of your competitors?
I'm sure he's not going to answer the second one, but either way, so yes.
Yes, there's this saying that if you do not market your products or your services, it's like doing business in the dark. Okay, of course, as I said earlier, if you provide a solution or you're able to innovate a solution, you have to go the extra mile to convince a section of the community or society that my solution is good, and so use it. So that's a bit of the marketing that I was actually talking about. At Telsol, we have a complete department for marketing, and they've been doing a very good job. We have a strategy. Most of our products are niche market products. So you may not see us on the airwaves making adverts for the mass market.
You target a particular market. But you need to start advertising, especially on TV3. There's a reason for that.
We've done that before. We would do that. Of course, we are partners.
I would advise you to do that.
We would do that, yes. Now, the future of Telsol is going to churn out a lot of mass market products. So look out for the space. We're going to be doing things in fintech. We're going to do things in CRM, global platforms, because we're preparing the company to go global at this point. And so at that point, we are going to do a lot in healthcare. Okay, there are 4 areas that we are working on to go global. Those are mass market products. And so we'll begin to use mass media for our marketing. But as a tech company, of course, we use technology.
Absolutely.
And it's something that comes in handy. Okay, if you are a startup now, the best platform you can use to market your product is social media. And it's working. It's achieving results. And so I encourage you to actually use it. But even though it is social media, you have to understand what you are doing on social media. It's not enough to just put your advert and things out there. It has to be targeted. If you don't have expertise, approach those that know how to play the game, and they will help you to achieve results from social marketing. Social media marketing.
Fantastic. That's very good. We have digital platforms here at TV3 as well. You can advertise as a startup, very moderate rates. But hello, yes, your name, hello. And then we'll go to the back for the next question.
I'm Alberta Wasman from GIJ. I'd want to know, have you lost customers when you started this journey, and what are some of the things that contributed to that, and how have you been able to gain back some of the customers you lost?
So the mistakes that he made.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, every business once in a while will lose customers. Somebody might be disgruntled for a service that maybe for not meeting his or her expectation. But we are at Telsol, we've done our best to retain 95% of our customers since inception, unless they are out of business and the records are there. Now you ask, what are we doing right? And I'll tell you. I'll share that with you. As I said, you cannot dissociate innovation from entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is all about innovation, right? And in our industry, it is moving very fast. You don't want to sit there at your comfort zone thinking you've gotten the client, so what they are using for now is okay. The next moment, somebody is bringing something that is more innovative, that is solving emergent challenges that you don't foresee, okay, and you're out of business. So almost every 2 years, like the gentleman said, since we launched the initial platform, we've done 2 new releases, major, in order to take care of the emerging challenges. And so the clients, so far, we are glad they are happy, we are happy, and whatever they need, our support systems have been such that it's been phenomenal.
What are some of those teething challenges within this, that's a technology space or ICT space that you have encountered since you've been in business?
Initially, even though we say tech business is not that capital intensive, when you get to a level, especially if you are prepared to scale out, you need money. So access to finance, like any other business, is a challenge, or has been a challenge.
Right.
For instance, at Texas, for the past 10 years that we run the company, we've not had any direct investment into the business from day one. So you can imagine, we are now preparing ourselves for such investment, because nobody also give you money for seeing nothing. You have to demonstrate that you are capable to manage and make returns for the investors. So access to finance is a very big challenge, because you have to buy servers, you have to buy even systems that you use to develop other systems, other components from giants, because you do not have the resources to develop all those things yourself, okay? So you pick some from others, you have to pay for it, and then use it to develop your products. All those things are challenges. And a very important point. Now, one good thing that has come up is the cloud platform. Now you can start your whole enterprise without having to buy a single server. And it comes at a lower cost. So it is becoming easier day by day to actually start a venture than it used to.
Fantastic. So yes, I'll take 2 questions concurrently.
I'm Frank Damesi, a social entrepreneur from Youth Gear Towards Action Yoga. I want to find out, when you started your venture, you didn't have a degree. I want to know how the experience was like, because with IT, it's very technical. Were people willing to work with you?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Please, I'm Akosia Pune from University of Ghana. I want to know, in your own view, what you can do to help increase ICT in young people.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's
thank you. So I'll pick the first one. I think his question relates to formal education and entrepreneurship. Formal education is not a prerequisite to launch a successful venture. It is very important because it gives you the context. It's able to provide you with the kind of education that you need to develop your critical thinking capabilities. You are exposed, your horizons are improved, broader subject areas which will help you in your venture. But what is important is knowledge acquisition. And that will come in the form of an informal setting, your own research, and also the classroom.
Right.
So formal education is not necessarily, and I'll give you an example. Most of our huge companies that we have today, and the popular ones we know, like the founder and CEO, former executive of Microsoft, Bill Gates. Of course, he was a very brilliant chap, having gotten admission to Harvard. But he found his passion, like I did. Of course, he's one of the main people I look up to.
Right.
And he dropped out. I remember there's a quote attributed to him that says that he was in a class with a very intelligent chap who went on to become a PhD holder, and now the guy works with him at Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know,
So-
you can't take that gamble in Ghana. You can't drop out of school, you know, because the system, the support system is not there, and I think that's where the difference is. You know, I just wanted to make that point. But because we need to round up in like the next 5 minutes, so I want to take the question of the gentleman.
Congratulations, Mr. Adamte.
Thank you, sir.
I want to know, why would you say is the reason why young guys don't want to venture into entrepreneurship? And number two, how do you manage your team? Thank you.
So you answered that with the ladies.
Yeah.
What you're going to do to encourage
Improve,
young
yeah,
people
yeah.
to get into ICT. Yes.
Okay, so I'll take hers because she
Right.
asked first. Of course, in his intro, he made mention of the fact that the teeming youth of Africa needs jobs. And ICT is an area that can help create more jobs. Okay? And the returns on investment in the industry or the sector is very encouraging. We've seen the likes of all the big companies, and very soon you hear of Texel at that level. Okay, so it's one of the good reasons why you should enter into technology business or you to become a technology entrepreneur. Okay, you develop value for yourself and also help others build their.
Is there any one way you're going to do that to help young people?
Of course, we already started that. We are forming, how we call it, a foundation that's going to start teaching young graduates in the field of IT and programming to develop them, to prepare them for industry.
Great stuff.
Exactly. So that is what we are going to be doing very soon.
Okay. So
Then,
two questions.
The issue about young people shying away from entrepreneurship or launching ventures is basically the fear of the unknown. And as Alfred said, the support system in our part of the world also is not there. So you are thinking about your next bread and butter, and if you start a business that do not have the backing of your parents or people that should support you, it becomes a very difficult journey to undertake. But entrepreneurship is all about challenges. And don't count yourself a failure when you become unsuccessful the first few attempts that you make. Because in the life of an entrepreneur, there's nothing like failure. You only fail when you quit. When you do not become successful the first time, the second time, you are only finding ways that are not working. It is not a failure. Because once you are on that journey and you begin to do what you do, you find different ways that will work. Trust me, you will get a solution that will break through. So don't be afraid to start a venture. I started mine back in school. In fact, that was what I did to pay my way through university.
Right.
Yes. So it is something that you can also do. It's about time management as a resource and the little that you can gather around to promote yourself. And when people believe in your solution, as I said, you become successful.
What was the second question?
It's
How does
talking
it manage
about
the
team management.
Okay.
That's one of the important aspects of running a business. If you cannot work with a team, forget it. Because you cannot do it or make it alone. You need a committed team, dedicated team, an intelligent team for that matter, people who are willing, who will buy into your vision to get the vision out there. And it is incumbent on you, the leader or the founder, the vision bearer, to demonstrate to your team members that you have them at heart. And that we have been able to do at Texel.
Fantastic.
And so for the past few years, our staff retention has been very, very high. We do not see people leaving because we made them buy into the team. And once they bought into the team, when the
Right.
goodies come, it is also hot.
Just a quick
benefiting
advice to the
everybody.
teaming young people who are watching us on TV and across the world. Finally, in maybe 30 seconds, and then we're gone.
Well, what I would say is that there's this quote that I actually coined myself and based from experience, that it is less expensive to succeed than to fail. So be determined to succeed. Now, what that means is that the cost of failure, okay, is higher. What it takes to succeed is more, how you call it, easier than what it takes to fail.
Absolutely.
And I'll explain that briefly, then we can end it there. You are in school. Your parents are supporting you, providing the needs and providing for your needs and all that. Sit down, do what is required of you, pass your exams, and get out there and be a better person. Whilst in school, you are doing other things. That is not why you are in school. When you fail your papers, you're going to sit down, look for money, register again, the humiliations, the cost. So you see, instead of passing through the first time, you are now going to incur more costs, more social costs and all that. And so it's always important to succeed than to fail. So that should be your motivation to succeed.
If you have to fight the Second World War, don't give up. You can fight it.
Of course, you can fight it.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you. Wonderful. Louis Amenyo Adante, Executive Director of TechSol. He is the Chief Software Architect and the visionary, as we say, of the company. Thank you for making the time to be here. And thank you guys, students from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Thank you so much. We have a mix of audience also from Methodist, that's a Wesleyan Entrepreneurship Group. Thank you so much. University of Ghana, Legon students, thank you very much. And then, did I miss out any? Thank you guys, everybody. Round of applause for yourselves. Thank you. On behalf of the team here and the time with the captains, my name is Alfred Okanse. As always, the last Monday of every other month, we do this, and we value mentorship here at TV3. Thank you very much. And stay with us as we get into News 360, and do have a good evening.